the brand new JX35. It's been launched by Infiniti to compete in one of the toughest segments in all of the automotive world, the luxury crossover segment. So, will it succeed? Let's find out. Well, it's definitely not small. It's sort of a family truckster on steroids, but thanks to its very pleasing shape, it looks a bit smaller than it really is. Brand recognition is extremely important in the luxury segment, and thankfully the sculpted Art Deco look is carried over from many of this Infiniti's brethren. So even though it's brand new, and even without that large emblem up front, you can easily recognize this as a new Infiniti. I'm not sure why the station wagon became such a bad word in the automotive industry, but whatever you call it, crossover, sport utility, family truckster, the shape definitely gives a lot of utility. 7-passenger seating and all-wheel drive in this case. Infiniti's great sense of style and luxury is of course carried over into the interior. Of course, it's not all about style, and thankfully these leather seats are very comfortable. They're also power adjusted and they offer lumbar support as well, plus they're heated and cooled. Wood accents, and of course they follow through to the main dash over here. Typical Infiniti. The only difference is the screen layout is a hair different, but this is an all-new model, so you'd expect it. There's a large armrest console in the center, lift it up, and you've got a tray of storage there, and then lift that up, and there's more storage underneath, right now taken up by 2 headphones for the entertainment system in the back. Just in front of the console, you have controls for your heated and cooled seats, plus a drive setting. You get normal mode, eco, snow, and sport, and you can adjust the continuously variable transmission with any of those settings. You get 2 cup holders and of course the familiar Infiniti shift knob with a manual setting as well. There's one charger here located under the dash, but don't worry, there's another one in the console as well. Here are the controls for your audio. Moving up, here are some controls for navigation and of course climate control. The infotainment screen also houses your overhead camera view, backup camera, and of course, navigation as well. Infiniti's bird's eye camera view is definitely unique and helps you avoid problems when parking. There's also audible sensors too. This one comes with the optional push button start. On the steering wheel, you have controls for your radio, Bluetooth, and smart cruise control as well. The gauges are easily seen and easily read, nice and clear. And in the middle there, you have an information screen which you can control and toggle through on the steering wheel. Lots of useful information for you. These controls are located on the lower dash next to the steering wheel. They help you control things like the heated steering wheel and your traction control on and off. There's also 2 memory settings for the seat. Rear passengers get 2 cup holders on each side, and you can fit 3 across pretty easily. Plus, this one has the optional DVD entertainment system, so you get 2 monitors on the headrests. Nice. Infiniti's engineers have come up with an easy way to get into that 3rd seat back there. Basically, just pull up this, slide it all forward, and look at that. Comes all the way forward, and you've got room to get in back here. Of course, access to the back is easy. Automatic. Even with both 3rd row seats up, there's still a bit of storage in the back here. But of course, you can fold all the seats down for plenty of cargo room. Very versatile. Power comes from the same engine that's in the Nissan Murano, a 3.5-liter V6 which makes 265 horsepower and 248 pound-feet of torque. That's good for a 0 to 60 time of 7.8 seconds. Fuel economy is rated at 18 miles per gallon in the city and 23 on the highway with the all-wheel drive. Without the all-wheel drive, you can expect 24 on the highway. You can also expect 20 miles per gallon overall. So all this luxury doesn't come cheap. It starts at $41,550. And of course you want your deluxe touring package, your technology package, that's $3,100. That comes with all the fancy electronics that keep you pinned to the road and add to your safety. And you probably want a roof rack and the studio package in back, and basically you're out the door at $56,000 just about. So it's not cheap, but it is actually less expensive than some of the competition and much less expensive than the QX56. And to me, this is basically a mini QX56. Safety devices are everywhere. See that orange light that goes on? That lets you know when someone's in your blind spot. Start to drift out of your lane, you get a little beep there, and that makes you go back. And if you're following another car using cruise control, well, this Infiniti will slow you down. And you can also adjust it for sensitivity. Technology working hard to make you safe. Just engaged the sport mode, and the Infiniti here does definitely take on a different personality. It's now more rev happy. You can hear the engine growl, and it's much different than in the standard or eco mode. In terms of the cornering, well, this might not be a QX56, but it's still very big, and you wouldn't really expect it to hold on this well in turns, but it does. You know, it's an Infiniti, and Infinitis are, in general, very nice handling cars. I've driven some excellent handling Infinitis lately, the IPL version. You can see my review of that one. But hey, this one, for its size, actually hangs on pretty well. And with the all-wheel drive, of course you have that added grip security and safety. While technology is definitely a good thing in the FX35, it can also be a negative. For instance, if you do have the cruise control on and you're planning on changing lanes before you get too close to a car, well, inevitably, it will probably intervene and slow you down anyway. So that's kind of a nuisance occasionally. And also, if you're trying to have a little bit of fun in cornering, well, the Infiniti basically catches you. It's very good with its all-wheel drive and traction stability control, that sort of thing. It's tough to have a little bit of fun with it though. You could turn off the traction control, but Drivin doesn't recommend that unless you really know what you're doing. Interesting to note that I'm not applying the brakes right now, but the Infiniti is. It's always paying attention, and that's just simply amazing. Also, you might note that it's raining out, and while that would cause some cars to be a little squirrely and lose grip, not this Infiniti with all-wheel drive here. There's actually another cool feature that has nothing to do with technology really in terms of this car being able to stop itself, and that is that it can stop your child from driving where you don't want them to, and it can also stop them from speeding, because there's a setting that lets you know with an email that they've gone outside of a predetermined area, and when they get back, it'll also tell you how fast they went too. So that's pretty cool. Checking out the Infiniti's night look on the dash, and I think they've chosen the colors and the looks very well. On the center console, also very nice, and on down to all the instruments. Now, driving at night, the technology will help you too. If you start to doze off, veer out of your lane a little bit, there you go. An audible warning. So you can actually be alerted that you're falling asleep if you're driving too late at night. Of course, you should never drive late at night if you're tired, but nice to know that that feature's there. Also up above is something like GM's Onstar, where if you run into an emergency situation, you press that button, you can connect with Infiniti and they can send help. Great feature for safety. You know, some shapes are instantly recognizable, And I like that when I'm driving a car. I like to know what type of car I'm driving when I look out over the front, like I can in my Porsche 911, or like you can in a Carmen Ghia, a Corvette, Jaguar. You know, some cars have a sense of style, and fortunately this one is one of those cars. Well, as ever, stuck in traffic, and it's a good thing sometimes. It gives you a chance to contemplate the car that you're driving. And in this case, the JX35 is certainly very luxurious. It's a comfortable car to be stuck in traffic in. Heated and cooled seats. You can listen to a nice audio tape, which I'm doing, on the CD player, and you can listen to Sirius satellite radio. Both people in front can, of course, set their own temperature. You can keep the kids busy in back with the monitors. So, all in all, there are many, many worse cars to be stuck in traffic with. And also, I think, you know, just now I saw this same car in the same color right in front of me. And that's pretty funny, because Infiniti is hoping to sell more of these, and it looks like they're succeeding. You know, this is a car, in fact, that I think will appeal more to women. It's a little smaller in terms of a crossover. It's still a pretty big car, but at the same time, women lots of times like to be up high, and this is a car that gives you a nice high seating position. And in terms of price, well, it's a little pricey, but you know, in terms of the Lexus RX, the Acura MDX, it's very compatible to those cars. Plus, the 7-passenger seating is always a plus. You can always go to Mitsubishi or even Kia for 7-passenger alternatives that are cheaper, but Infiniti is definitely at the top of the game in terms of luxury. So all in all, this is a great car, and I think they will succeed, and I think they're gonna sell a lot of these. I'm Drivin Ivan Katz.